If you had asked me a few years ago, I would have told you my life was perfect. Or at least close to it. I had a great job, a fiancé I adored, and a wedding date set for June. My family. Well, they had always been complicated, but I told myself that didn't matter. Family is family, right? I believed that, until the day my world crumbled. Until the day I found out my own sister had taken the man I was going to marry. And the worst part, my entire family stood by her side. But let me start from the beginning. I'm Camille, 27 years old. I grew up in a small town in Texas, the oldest daughter of a very traditional family. My parents believed in two things: family loyalty and appearances. I have a younger sister, Vanessa, 24, beautiful, spoiled, and the undeniable favorite. If I was the responsible, hardworking daughter, she was the golden child who got away with everything. Then there's Ethan, my ex-fiancé. The man I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. We had been together for 5 years, and when he proposed, I thought my fairy tale was finally coming true. But fairy tales aren't real, and some stories end in betrayal. Looking back, the red flags were always there, I just didn't want to see them. Vanessa was always too close to Ethan. She flirted, openly, but I always brushed it off. That's just how Vanessa is, I told myself. She was touchy, always giggling at his jokes, always finding reasons to text him. Ethan never setting boundaries with her. If she texted him late at night, he responded. If she needed a ride, he dropped everything. If she batted her eyelashes and pouted, he did whatever she wanted. My parents always treated Vanessa like she was more deserving. They constantly made comments about how she was more fun, more beautiful, more social. My mom even once joked, if Vanessa had met Ethan first, who knows what would have happened. Turns out, I should have taken that as a warning. The night everything changed. It was a Saturday evening. I was at my parents' house for dinner, and Vanessa was there, acting weird. She wouldn't look at me. My mom kept glancing at her. My dad looked uncomfortable. Ethan was supposed to come too, but he had cancelled last minute, saying he wasn't feeling well. Halfway through dinner, Vanessa blurted out, "I need to tell you something." The room went dead silent. And then, the words that destroyed everything. Ethan and I were in love. At first, I thought I misheard her. The words didn't make sense in my brain. I let out a nervous laugh. What? She sighed like this was hard for her. I didn't mean for it to happen, Camille. But, Ethan and I belong together. I stared at her, then at my parents, expecting, no, begging, for them to react. To be furious. To demand an explanation. Instead, my mom nodded sympathetically. "We know, honey." I felt like the floor had disappeared beneath me. "We know." I turned to my dad. "You knew." He sighed. "It's complicated, Camille. But love isn't always predictable." Love wasn't predictable. What about the 5 years I spent with him? What about our wedding? What about the house we had just signed a lease for? I stood up so fast my chair scraped against the floor. "Are you kidding me?" My voice was shaking. "He's my fiancé." Vanessa had the audacity to look sad. "I know. And I hate that this hurts you. But we couldn't ignore our feelings." My hands were trembling. I turned to my mom, my dad, anyone, hoping for someone to tell me this was insane. Instead, my mother said softly, "Maybe this is for the best." And just like that, I realized I had lost everything. I don't remember much after that moment. I think I laughed, because what else could I do? My sister had stolen my fiancé. My family had known about it. And instead of being horrified, they acted like it was just one of those things that happen. Like I was supposed to just accept it. But I wasn't that girl. I wasn't going to sit there, nodding and pretending I understood their twisted logic. So I did the only thing I could. I walked out. And no one followed me. I was halfway home when my phone rang. Ethan. I almost let it go to voicemail. But then I thought, no. I wanted to hear whatever excuse he had. So I answered. "Camille." He sounded breathless, like he'd been waiting for me to pick up. I didn't say anything. He took that as a sign to keep talking. "I know this is a lot. But please, just let me explain." "Explain." I cut him off, my voice eerily calm. "You mean explain why you're dating my sister? Why you kept it a secret? Why you let me sit there planning a wedding while you were sneaking around behind my back?" Silence. Then, the worst possible thing he could say. "It just happened." I swear, I almost threw my phone out the window. "It just happened," I repeated, laughing bitterly. "Like you tripped and landed in my sister's bed. Or was it a little more intentional than that? Camille, I never meant to hurt you. But you did." My voice broke. "You did, and you didn't even have the decency to tell me yourself. You let her do it." He exhaled sharply. "I didn't know she was going to tell you like that. I was going to talk to you first, but she..." I cut him off. "I don't care." He froze. "I don't care why you did it," I said, my grip tightening around the steering wheel. "I don't care what Vanessa said. I don't care about your excuses. I paused, my chest rising and falling with pure, raw anger. All I care about, I continued, voice low and steady, is that I never want to hear from you again. He was silent for a long time. Then, finally, he sighed. I'm sorry, Camille. I hung up. I thought maybe, stupidly, that my parents would come to their senses. That, given some time, they'd realize how cruel this was. I was wrong. The next day, my mother called me. At first, I thought, maybe she's calling to apologize. Maybe she regrets it. But no. The first thing out of her mouth. You're being very dramatic about this. I actually had to pull my phone away from my ear and stare at it, just to make sure I wasn't hearing things. Excuse me, I finally said. She sighed like I was exhausting her. I know this is painful for you, but you need to be mature about it. Mature. She really said mature. I clenched my jaw. Mom, he was my fiancé. And now he's not. She said it so simply, like it was just a change in plans. Sweetheart, you're acting like Vanessa stole your husband. It's not that serious. I actually felt sick. She stole my future, I snapped. And you're acting like it's fine. She didn't steal anything, Mom said sharply. You can't steal a person, Camille. If Ethan left you for Vanessa, then maybe they were just meant to be. I was shaking. Actually shaking. You're defending her, I whispered. She hesitated. It's not about choosing sides. But it is. I swallowed, my throat tight. And you chose hers. Silence. That's when I realized something. My mom wasn't calling to check on me. She was calling to tell me to get over it. Because in her mind, I was the problem. Not Vanessa. Not Ethan. Me. I could feel the final thread of my relationship with my family snapping. So I took a breath, and I said, very clearly. I hope you and Vanessa enjoy the wedding. Then I hung up. I wish I could say I handled everything with grace. That I let it go, moved on peacefully, and never looked back. But no, because it got worse. 1 week later, I found out Vanessa and Ethan were engaged. Engaged. She didn't even wait. The wedding I had spent a year planning. She took it. The same date, the same venue, even some of the same vendors. Like I had just been a placeholder. Like my entire relationship had been nothing. And my family, they were celebrating. My dad posted about it on Facebook. So happy for Vanessa and Ethan. True love always finds a way. True love. I couldn't even cry anymore. I was just, done. Done trying to prove I mattered. Done hoping my family would stand up for me. Done being walked all over like I was nothing. So I made a decision. They wanted to erase me. Fine. But first, I was going to show them exactly what that felt like. You know how people say revenge is best served cold? I disagree. Because in my case, it wasn't cold at all. It was hot, slow burning, and inevitable, like a fire spreading through dry grass. The moment I saw my father's Facebook post about Vanessa and Ethan's engagement, something inside me clicked. I wasn't just angry anymore. I was done. That night, I did something drastic. Something my family never thought I'd do. I deleted every single one of them. Blocked my mom, dad, Vanessa, extended relatives, every single person who had celebrated my sister's betrayal. It felt good. But I didn't stop there. I also called the venue where Vanessa and Ethan were planning their wedding, the venue that I had originally booked. I was still under contract. The deposit. I paid it. And since it was in my name, I canceled it. Just like that. The woman on the phone hesitated. Are you sure? I mean, the wedding is in a few months, and... Positive, I said, voice steady. Cancel it. Effective immediately. I could already picture Vanessa's face when she found out. Would she cry? Would she scream? Would she call me, demanding to know how I could do this to her? I almost hoped she would. Because I had a lot to say. The next morning, I woke up to 10 missed calls. 4 from Vanessa, 2 from Mom, 3 from Dad, 1 from Ethan. Then came the texts. Mom, Camille, what did you do? Dad, call me now. Vanessa, what the hell is wrong with you? I smiled. There it is. A few minutes later, my phone rang again. Vanessa. This time, I picked up. The second I answered, she was screaming. You cancelled my venue. Are you *****ing serious? I leaned back against my couch, totally calm. Oh, did you like that venue? I wouldn't know, since you stole it. You're being ridiculous, she snapped. Just call them back and fix it. I actually laughed. Fix it. Vanessa, sweetheart, that venue was never yours. You tried to steal it. But turns out, you can't steal what was never yours to begin with. She let out an angry breath. God, why are you being so childish about this? It's not my fault Ethan chose me over you. That was it. That was the moment I let go. I had spent weeks mourning the loss of my family, my fiancé, my future. But suddenly, I realized something. I wasn't mourning losing them. I was mourning the idea of them. The people I thought they were. And that version of them. Never existed. So I exhaled slowly, my voice dangerously soft. Vanessa, I said, I need you to hear me very clearly. She went silent. I am done with you. With mom. With dad. With Ethan. With all of it. You people have treated me like nothing my entire life. And guess what? Now you get nothing from me. Camille, I hope your wedding is a disaster, I continued. I hope Ethan cheats on you. I hope you wake up one day and realize you threw away your relationship with me for a man who's going to do the same thing to you. Silence. Then, her voice, quieter now. You don't mean that. I smirked. Yes, I do. And then, I hung up. I thought that was the end of it. That they'd finally get the message and leave me alone. But no, because my parents, they weren't done humiliating me yet. A few days later, I got a text from an unknown number. It was a wedding invitation. Vanessa and Ethan's wedding, and under my name, it said, Maid of Honor. I almost threw my phone across the room. Was this a joke? A sick, twisted attempt at bringing the family back together? I didn't even hesitate. I picked up my phone, called my mom, and the second she answered, I let her have it. Are you out of your mind? I demanded. Mom sighed, like she was already exhausted. Camille, honey, it's time to let go of the past. I almost screamed. Let go of the past. I repeated. You mean let go of the fact that my fiancé cheated on me with my sister? That my family betrayed me? That you expect me to stand beside them on their wedding day like none of this ever happened? Mom sighed again. It's just a wedding, sweetheart. I clenched my jaw. Then why does it feel like my funeral? Silence. And that's when it hit me. They had never seen me as anything other than an afterthought. A supporting character in Vanessa's perfect little life. A disposable extra. And suddenly, I knew exactly what I had to do. I wasn't just going to disappear from their lives. I was going to make damn sure they never forgot me. It was time to show them who I really was. You ever reach a point where you're just numb? Like, you've cried all your tears, screamed in your car, replayed every conversation in your head a million times, and now, you're just done. That was me. I wasn't sad anymore. I wasn't even angry. I was calculating. Because if my family wanted to treat me like an extra in Vanessa's fairy tale, fine. But I was about to flip the entire script. I was supposed to be the maid of honor. All right, let's play. So, let's talk about this wedding invitation. You know, the one that called me maid of honor like the past few months hadn't happened. At first, I was going to ignore it. But then I thought, no, let's see just how far they're willing to take this insanity. So I texted Vanessa. Me, is this a joke? She replied almost instantly. Vanessa, Camille, please. Can we just move on from this? Move on. I stared at my phone, laughing bitterly. But okay, fine. If that's the game we were playing, I'd play along. So I responded. Me, sure. I'll be your maid of honor. And just like that, I was in. Within minutes, I was added to a group chat titled, Sparkles V&E's Big Day. Sparkles. And let me tell you, the delusion in that chat was unreal. Vanessa was acting like we were besties, sending cute dress inspo and gushing about colors. Mom was in there too, talking about how this wedding was going to bring the family back together. And Ethan, that man had the nerve to send a message saying, glad to have you on board, Cam. Means a lot. I actually had to walk away from my phone for a minute. Because I was this close to breaking my play along plan and sending a message that would set their entire lives on fire. But I didn't, because I had bigger plans. 2 weeks later, Vanessa dragged me to a bridal shop for dress fittings. Now, let me paint the scene for you. She's standing in front of a mirror, wearing the exact dress I had picked out for myself back when I was engaged to Ethan. Yeah, she stole my fiancé and my dress. And my mother, sitting there, smiling like this was the happiest moment of her life. The sales associate turned to me. And for the maid of honor dress, what are we thinking? Vanessa grinned. Oh, something simple. Nothing too attention-grabbing. I smiled back, so sweetly. Actually, I was thinking something bold. You know, memorable. Vanessa's smile faltered. Well, I don't want anything that steals focus. I tilted my head. Why not? You certainly had no problem stealing from me. Silence. Mom shot me a look. Camille. I shrugged. What? Just making sure I understand the rules here. Vanessa inhaled sharply. Look, I don't want to fight. I just want my sister standing by my side on my big day. I stared at her. This girl. This actual psychopath. She wanted me standing beside her as she married my ex-fiancé. Like I was just supposed to accept this. I took a deep breath, keeping my sweetest smile in place. Of course, Vanessa, I said softly. I wouldn't miss it for the world. But what I didn't say. I wasn't coming to celebrate. I was coming to end the show. And trust me, the finale was going to be spectacular. You know that feeling when you walk into a room and everyone is pretending like nothing's wrong, but you can feel the tension crawling under your skin. That's what the weeks leading up to Vanessa and Ethan's wedding felt like. Like one big, delusional performance. And me, I was just sitting there, watching it all unfold, knowing damn well I was about to burn the entire theater down. Let's talk about this absolute train wreck of a bachelorette party. Vanessa, being the self-absorbed lunatic she is, planned a weekend trip to Miami. Miami. Like I was about to spend 3 days trapped in a hotel suite with her and her equally insufferable bridesmaids, pretending I was happy about this wedding. But hey, I said I was gonna play along. So I packed my bags and got on that damn plane. Now, let me tell you, the second we landed, I knew I had made a mistake. Vanessa was glowing. Like, she was thriving off the attention. She kept saying things like, "Oh my God, ladies, can you believe I'm getting married?" And I swear to God, every time she said it, she would look directly at me. Like she was trying to rub it in. And the bridesmaids, they were eating it up. Especially her best friend, Claire. Who, by the way, used to be my friend, until Vanessa stole her too. Shocking, I know. Claire kept saying, I always knew you and Ethan were meant to be, Ness. Camille, don't you agree? I took a sip of my drink and smiled. Oh, absolutely. And then I leaned in, voice sweet as sugar. You know, Vanessa always had a thing for my boyfriends. The silence. The way Vanessa's eyes widened just slightly. The awkward throat clearing from Claire. I almost laughed. But I didn't. Because I wasn't done yet. That evening, we went out to some overpriced rooftop bar. Vanessa, of course, was the center of attention. Every time the waiter came over, she made sure to flash her ring. Every time a song she liked played, she would squeal and announce, "OMG, this is so me and Ethan's song." Every time someone made a toast, she would bring up their love story. And every damn time, she made eye contact with me. Like she was waiting for me to break. Like she was testing me. I wanted to scream. I wanted to grab her by the shoulders and shake her. I wanted to say, "Do you even hear yourself? Do you realize what you've done?" But I didn't. I just sat there, smiling, sipping my drink, letting her dig her own grave. Because here's the thing, Vanessa, she thought she won. She thought I was just going to sit quietly and let her walk down that aisle like she wasn't the worst person alive. She thought she could steal my life and get away with it. But she was so wrong. Fast forward to the night before the wedding. The rehearsal dinner. I showed up wearing red. Which, for the record, is not a normal choice for a maid of honor. But hey, when in Rome, right? The second Vanessa saw me, she pulled me aside, eyes narrowed. "What the hell are you wearing?" she hissed. I blinked at her, all innocence. "A dress." She exhaled sharply. "Could you at least try not to make everything about you?" I laughed. Out loud. Because wow, Vanessa, I said, if I wanted attention, I wouldn't have worn red. She frowned. "What does that mean?" I smiled. "It means if I really wanted all eyes on me, I would have worn white." Her face. Priceless. Before she could say anything, Mom swooped in, fake smile plastered on. "Girls, let's keep this drama free, okay? Tomorrow is a big day." I tilted my head. "For who?" Vanessa shot me a glare. Mom sighed, rubbing her temples. "Camille, please, let's just have a nice evening." "Oh, absolutely. A nice, peaceful evening. Because tomorrow was going to be hell." That night, while everyone was celebrating the happy couple, I was making a little phone call. To someone who had nothing to lose. Someone who knew the truth. Someone who was more than happy to burn it all down with me. And the next day, right before Vanessa was supposed to walk down the aisle, that little phone call was about to change everything. You ever watch a disaster happen in slow motion? Like, you can see it coming, you know it's about to hit, but you just sit back and enjoy the show. That was me on Vanessa's wedding day. Except, in this case, I was the disaster. So, morning of the wedding, I wake up to about 50 unread messages in the group chat. It's all, "Mom, Camille, please be on your best behavior today. Vanessa, hair and makeup at 9 a.m. Don't be late. Claire, OMG Ness, you're getting married. Barf. I didn't even bother responding. Instead, I got up, stretched, and thought to myself. Today's the day I end my sister's entire fairy tale. And the best part, I wasn't even going to lift a finger. Hair, makeup, and pure delusion. Now, let's talk about getting ready. Because Vanessa, she was glowing. Like, she was in full-on bridezilla mode, barking orders at the stylists, making sure every single detail was perfect. She even did that fake humble thing, like, "OMG, I just feel so lucky, you know." Like, Ethan is he's my soulmate. I just sipped my mimosa, staring at her in the mirror like, this girl really has no idea what's coming. But whatever, I let her have her moment. Because time was ticking, and my little phone call from the night before, that was about to go off like a bomb. Fast forward a few hours, we get to the venue. It's some ridiculously fancy garden setup, complete with white roses everywhere and one of those long-ass aisles that screams, "Look at me, I'm the main character." I mean, she really thought this was her perfect fairy tale wedding. But here's where it gets fun. Because the moment we step inside, Vanessa's phone starts blowing up. Her face goes pale, like, ghost white. Claire rushes over. "Ness, what's wrong?" Vanessa looks at me first, like she knows something's up, but then shakes her head and whispers, "Someone's saying Ethan is cheating on me." My heart was so full of joy. But I played dumb. I gasped. "No way. Who would say that?" Vanessa's fingers were shaking as she scrolled through her phone. There's messages. Screenshots. A woman, she's saying she's been seeing Ethan for months. Oh honey, that's not just a woman. That's the woman I called. See, fun fact, Ethan is a cheating rat. And while Vanessa was busy stealing him from me, he was out there cheating on her too. So, the night before, I reached out to one of his little side chicks and said, "Hey girl, wouldn't it be fun if you told the bride what's been going on?" And let me tell you, she delivered. So now, Vanessa is panicking. She's pacing. She's gripping her phone so tight, I swear it's about to snap in half. And then, Ethan walks in, looking way too confident for a man whose entire world is about to collapse. Vanessa storms up to him, phone in his face. "What the hell is this?" Ethan blinks. What? This woman," she waves the phone frantically, "she's saying you've been cheating on me. Sending screenshots, texts, photos." Ethan has the audacity to laugh. Like it's all some joke. "Babe, come on. This is our wedding day. You're really gonna let some internet troll ruin it? Oh wow, that's the best you've got." Vanessa isn't buying it, though. For the first time in her life, she actually looks unsure. So I decide to help her out. I clear my throat. "Well, Vanessa, it's not just some troll. Everyone turns to me, including Mom. Especially Mom. She's already glaring, like she knows I had something to do with this." Vanessa stares at me. "What do you mean?" I sip my champagne because, yes, I brought a drink to the drama. "Well," I say casually, "let's just say, Ethan's been very busy. Not just with this woman, either." Ethan's face drains of color. And now, the entire room is silent. I shrug. "I just think if you're gonna steal someone's fiancé, maybe make sure he's not a serial cheater first." Vanessa looks ready to collapse. Ethan looks like he's about to murder me. And Mom, she's fuming. But you know what? I don't care. Because for the first time in years, I feel free. Vanessa looks at Ethan. "Tell me it's not true." Ethan stammers. Vanessa, come on, babe, you're really gonna tell me it's not true." She screams. "He can't. Because it is true." And then, right there, in front of everyone, Vanessa rips off her engagement ring, throws it at him, and runs out of the room. So, just to recap, Vanessa's dream wedding, destroyed. Ethan's lies, exposed. Mom's perfect little family image, shattered. And me, I just grabbed my purse, finished my champagne, and walked out of that damn venue with my head held high. No screaming, no fighting, no grand speeches, just me, finally done with all of them. And let me tell you, it felt amazing. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an amazing story.